The London to Brighton actually starts now at Crystal Palace. It didn't used to. It started at Battersea, but now we've got a nice prime site at Crystal Palace where we can actually take 1,000 cars, and they actually drive down the historic route, which the old vintage and veteran cars go down, the old A23. It's changed a little since 1985, where it used to be single lane traffic and used to go into a dual carriageway. Now it's more of a motorway decided road. It's not bad to drive down, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get down there. It's the fun of getting down there with your friends and like-minded enthusiasts. The London Surrey Mini Owners Club was actually formed some near enough 10.5 years ago in 1985. It started off just a small group of people as an offspring of the National Club, which seemed to grow throughout the years as it's progressed in the 10 years. The history of the club, where do I start? 10 years ago it started with a chap called Martin Pink and Mark Stewart. Both of them got together and they went up to the national meet, which they realised that the national club was a bit too sort of stuck in one area, so they decided to have an offspring and call it the London Surrey Regional Club, and that sprouted the London Surrey a year later as its own right club, as in its own right, and started with about 50 members and progressed on to about 250 some 3 years later, and they wanted to do something a bit special, so they decided to do a run from Battersea Park to Brighton, which was in Preston Park, and started off with 2 separate start points, one in Battersea Park and one in Croydon on the Aerodrome car park hotel, and that started with about 200 cars just for a news classified ad in a paper. And it's built up from there, and through 10 years of it going on now, it's as we say, it's grown in popularity and the club's grown with it. We only really do one event, but we try to hold regional events as well. With social meetings at pubs. We have 3 social meetings, one in Kent, one in London and one in Guildford, which is in the Surrey area. So we try to sort of separate it out a bit.
Travelled approximately 120, 130 miles from Birmingham to Crystal Palace. Took us a long time because we bought 16 cars. Keeping 16 cars in convoy all the way is time consuming. But we started out at 11 o'clock and got here about 4:30, 4:45. I'm chairman of Birmingham Mini Owners Club, which is a club of 170 members. Run as a charity. We give our money away at the end of every year, or we give majority of it away. The club has been going now 8.5 years. Started by just 6 people in a pub talking about cars and minis and particular, and they started up from there. I was brought up in the 60s. You know, I was born in the 50s, brought up in the 60s, and the car then was a cult car of the 60s really. As far as the Monte Carlo Rally and, you know, people who owned it, Brit Eklund, etc. It just takes over really, the car. You either fall in love with it or you don't.
Cass. West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire.
Come down from West Yorkshire.
Scunthorpe service station. That is where we all place our butts.
West Yorkshire Mini Owners Club.
We do treasure hunts, quizzes, video nights.
Pushing a mini. Run out with your nose.
We go to as many shows as we can, you know, until money runs out.
The Beatles and Papas.
That's the best car
Putting it
on the
politely.
It's British, so are we.
Yeah.
And it's the best.
Good answer.
The fun to drive, and it reflects our personalities.
It's the fourth run in all. We've done 3 in this car, and I did another one with a friend in his another mini just to see what the run was like. Enjoyed it, and since then we just keep coming. It brings people of different ages, different age groups together. Anybody can own one. They're not an expensive car, so the millionaire owns one, or the young 16-year-old owns one, and the run just brings all the different age groups together.
Since I bought it, it was a Clubman estate.
A write-off at that.
And I extended it, made it into a 6-wheel saloon, changed the Clubman front for a proper mini front, so it looks a lot better.
Yes, very much.
That took
indeed.
me 6 months. I drove around in it, but the insurance was
Pretty obscure. And
No,
nobody would test it
was
for it.
non-existent because he didn't pay it.
I'm just talking.
No, it was expensive. So
That's why you
anyway, I
didn't pay it.
wanted another pickup, because I passed my test in a pickup years ago.
And then he chopped it up.
I got an angle grinder and I cut it down to a pickup, and this is what you see now. And it's been on the road as a pickup for 3.5 years now. I'll just keep adding things to it. You know,
Exhaust.
Like the exhaust up back at cab, beacon, Cooper grill, MG Metro engine.
I'll give you that though.
Give, I bought it.
Okay.
Shut up.
My stage 3 head.
Disc brakes, fat wheels and tyres.
Yeah, I fill stage 3 head.
John Chapman.
Changed quite a bit. When we first started it, we had 200 cars turn up at 2 locations. They paid, I think it was about £1 each, which entitled them to like, a sticker and a little bit of a leaflet and a parking place down at Brighton. As the years progressed on, it slowly got bigger. We went to sort of like 400 year after, and then 500, and then in 1989 it did hit a peak of about 1,000. They were still being taken into the park, paying £2, I think £2.50 as it was then, and then going on the run. But after that we really decided that we needed some organisation behind it and to pre-book, and that is when Mini World got involved with us, and we put an advert in Mini World for pre-booking. The price of the run went up, but with the price of the run going up from sort of £2.50 to £15 as it was, we decided that we needed to give people something back for the £15 as well. So what we did was we got Mini World to sponsor us, and they produced a plaque, which we've now run for 4 years, and it seems to be very collectible. And we gave away a t-shirt and some stickers for the car. That's how it's changed as far as organisation wise has. Also, we have to pay for Madeira Drive and Crystal Palace, which is quite a substantial amount, in the regions of about £3,500 for the Madeira Drive, and somewhere in the region of about £1,000 for Crystal Palace. So pre-booking helps us make sure that we're going to get the right amount of cars at the time. After last year's run, we booked this year's run directly about a month after, so we basically have to book it about a year in advance. But the only problem we had this year is we couldn't have it on the date that we wanted because of VE Day, and because of that we had to put it further into May, which is a bit unfortunate for some people because it's too near to the international mini meet in Sweden.
We drove down from Wolverhampton. We left there about 4 o'clock this morning, and belong to a small club called Mushroom Racing. It's like not a proper club, but just mates. It's got an 8-inch roof chop. It's not finished, and it's very illegal. Because I only bought it for 150 quid. No, I've done it a couple of times with my mates, but it's the first time I had a car of my own down it. Well, yeah, because you have all groups of ages here. I can say it's a good day out. Pulled over this morning on the M40, took one look at the car. He said, why do you do it? I said, because it's different. He said, fine, you must have tax, you must have insurance, I'm letting you go. And I asked if basically he was going to give me a producer, and he just laughed, got in the car and went. So, police officers are not too bad, are they?
Can you now hear me? Okay, right, can you now hear me? Yeah. Right, and that's where's my voice. What we'll do, 9:30, we'll leave here, we start up, we've got up the hill line, cross the success, going down, go down the bottom, outside the gate that you can come in. Please drive very carefully across the top here. There's shells and there are concrete cars here. The people are very dedicated to their cars. They don't want some idiots to the wheel spin, chipping their cars like mad, okay? It's very important. Right, the next important one is do not speed, because we've been now informed there are speed traps en route. In Croydon and Purley Way, there's estimated 15 cameras. Whether they work or not is irrelevant. If they do work, do send us a photo. It'd be nice to see where he was. Okay, let's say be very careful and also en route. Okay, have you all read your information list? Tell you how to go there. There are blue RAC signs. It's quite straightforward. You go straight down the hill to the very bottom where you see a brand new Tesco's being built. So you can admire that as you go out. It's got a nice clock. I don't know if it works. Turn right at those lights. Keep on going to the very end. You'll find a small roundabout which you turn left, go under the Croydon underpass, turn left and right at the roundabout, Croydon flyover, and left on the A23. Has anyone any problems at all? No? Good luck. Drive very carefully, have a safe journey, and have a good time.
Just bear with me.
however minutes.
it's grown to a proportion that we've restricted the run entries now this year to 1,100, and the 68 that we've allowed in are mainly foreigners, i.e. foreign bookings that are coming late. We allow them that little bit of lateness simply because Mini World doesn't get published out there as quickly as it does in our country. Need for a mini run. At the end of the day, the actual run itself was thought of because all the other events that were going on were static displays, and at the end of the day, once you've walked around a few static displays, it can be rather boring. But if you put 5 minis in a row in traffic together, everyone seems to sort of look at them, and people that are driving them seem to enjoy driving them as a group, and that's how we really started doing the run. It's because of that, and everyone liked to go to places like down to the seaside, for instance, so Brighton was ideal. At the end of the day, most people with their minis would like to come to the run and join in with all the other people that are from every region of the country, and they do bond together as a closely knit family. Well, it's probably a bit broad for it, but it's near enough true. moment the club is approximately 450 members strong. That will grow after the 21st of May this year when the London to Brighton finally finishes. So we have an influx of members at London to Brighton because they want to get on to next year's run, which are all pre-booked somewhere in about a month beforehand. We send out an advert into a popular magazine called Mini World, and it seems to fill up the first 3 days that is published. Mini, that poses a problem. I mean, why would a 6'2" chap get into a Mini and not a Beat? Well, Beetles are German, and at least with a Mini it's British. But at the end of the day, it's got a face on the front of it, and it feels like it needs someone to drive it that's got a bit of an aggressive nature behind them when they get out the car. It feels and looks like my character, I suppose, in a way. When I've actually done the run, which I haven't done for at least 5 years, we normally have a couple of friends that go together, and one instant we came out of Battersea Park, and my friend with his white clubman broke a fan belt, and there were 6 Minis in a row, and I said I'd go and look for a new fan belt for him from a spares shop in Battersea. So off I went, and 6 Minis followed me, and they followed me to the spares shop, followed me all the way back with the new fan belt, which was quite funny at the time because one Mini's just got to do something and they all follow.
Okay, the London Surrey Mini Owners Club started in 1984, basically because there was no mini club in the south east of England, and we decided that it was about time there was a mini club. So in '84, when there was a national event being held, we put an advert in the local paper and asked people to turn up to drive up to an event together, rather than all go up individually. And we spoke to each other at the first sort of service station stop, and that was basically the starting of the club. It was basically a group of a few friends, and it started with sort of a dozen members and sort of grew from there.
London to Brighton run is the most public event, I think, of the year, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's obviously our biggest event, but obviously there's lots of smaller things going on. And obviously some events are more, well, I mean, there are events where, thousands take part, but also there can be events where, 10 or 20 people take part in it, and they still enjoy themselves, and that's what it's about. When we started, I mean, we didn't have a proper committee as such. It was just a few people who sort of got together and organised things, but obviously the club's gone a long way from that. I mean, now they have a proper committee and people have got their own jobs to do.
A lot more organised. Well, I think with minis you can always get spares for them, that's the first thing. Cheap to insure, perfect for round town driving really, and they're just look quite sort of cheeky little cars still, really.
We might drive other cars during the week, but the weekends are for the Mini. Yeah.
We've just had someone come and tell us there are 2 dogs in a black Mini. Basically, I've always been involved with Grand Prix racing in the early days, and the Formula and the 500cc racing and that sort of thing. And I actually first met Issy Gonis, who, as you know, who designed the Mini, actually on this spot here at Brighton Speed Trials nearly 50 years ago. That's a long time ago. And I knew him when he designed the Morris Minor, and I was involved with him when he designed the Mini, because we were using the same engine as fitted in the Mini in our Formula Junior racing cars at that time. And as soon as the Mini came out, both my drivers, Brabham and McLaren, and myself, realized that the cars handled so well. We then went to see BMCs, as it was then, and suggested they build some of these cars. And he said, Harriman said, take one away and do it, and we did. And then they decided to build 1,000. And they sold the 1,000 so quickly, they decided to put it in production. It's the first car, really, that had an east-west engine, front-wheel drive, and handled so well. Handles like a go-kart, really. Still does. And it's still a motor so small, only 10 feet long. And basically, it's fun. And it's part of the family. We are making parts for Minis, all the accessories and that sort of thing. I mean, that's one thing about a Mini. You buy a Mini and you buy dashboards, steering wheels, tuning kits, handling packs. If you buy a normal motor car, you just buy a set of carpet mats. The Mini's has everything. And at the garage, apart from doing those sort of things, we do also high performance packs for them, and handling packs and that sort of thing, aftermarket fitments. And that's coming to the new S. We've tried to recreate the new S with the new environment, with the latest emission regulations and drive-by noise. And it is a very quiet motor car with 80 horsepower to comply with the new regulations, really. The old one was a little more noisy, and the new one is more sophisticated because it has the 12-inch wheels instead of that sort of thing, and the gearbox has been modified over the years, and it has to be much quieter to pass the drive-by noise, you know. For the next 5 years, I think it'll go to the end of the century with the existing car as we know it today. And I know Bernard Peachstrider, the new chairman of BMW, wants it to. He's a Mini fan, and they're working hard on the Mini to get it through the 96 regulations, European regulations, admission ones, and I'm sure that's going to happen. And then I should say in 5 years' time, I think there will be a new Mini, perhaps, we hope, and it's going to be a very difficult one to replace, I tell you.
From 1980 to 1989, Michael Bennett. For the custom class, the first prize winner was Roger Wall. Registration number OPD 315D. 1995. There it is. The second prize is definitely a variant. It was won by G. Cox, and it was a Cub.
Really a nice modified car.
The club, the London and Surrey Mini Owners Club, have their own trophies to present today. We have been in existence now for 11 years, this being our 10th London to Brighton run, and we've also nominated some honorary members. We'd like Vicky Stewart, Mark Stewart and Martin Pink to come up and collect their certificates. These are the people that initially founded the London and Surrey Mini Owners Club, and I'm sure it's grown in great size since they last were here. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll grab Mark Stewart again. Okay. Dennis and Mary? Don't worry.
Dennis and Mary and Anne.
We'd like Dennis and Mary Blake and Anne Frierson to also step up. These three members have been our longest standing members. They joined on day one and they are still members 11 years on. Can you do John Cooper's for us? And finally, we've a very special honorary member. I'd like Mark Stewart, who, as you know, was one of our founders, to present John Cooper with a lifelong honorary membership of the London and Surrey.
First of all, this is it must be my about 8th or 9th year that I've been here, and it's wonderful of you people to keep the Mini going like you're doing. I wouldn't be here otherwise. And it was nearly 50 years ago that I was virtually standing here with Issy Gonis in the Brighton Speed Trials when we first met, and that's what you got from him. And I've enjoyed it, and I know everybody that drives a Mini enjoys it, and thank you very much indeed.
Because our Mini is 35 years old, and it's in its original condition with many, many accessories which came out in the early 60s. So it does draw attention when we bring it, so yeah. Unfortunately we couldn't bring it today because I'm not driving as yet.
And we've got the folder with all the things showing right from the black and white pictures, you know, of when we first had it, and then all the leaflets that you know people are looking for now, the real ones, and you could get all the accessories to go with it, and all the suitcases and bags and everything. It's been to weddings, funerals, holidays. It's had things pinched off it. It's just been a fun car to us.
It's been a fun car.
Yes.
It cost £537 when it was new. That was the deluxe edition. They did two in those days. The deluxe had carpet instead of rubber matting, yeah. And the rear windows opened, and it also had chrome bumpers and overriders. And the insurance, in fact, I've got it in this folder, yes. Fully comprehensive for the year, was £12, 11 shillings. And today, now, as it's a classic car, it's on a limited mileage but an assured value, and it still only cost me £82 a year. In November I bought it. It came out of the factory on the 12th of November. It went to a distributor on the 13th of November at Red Hill, and I bought it the next day. So it didn't stand out anywhere. It came straight out of the factory to a distributor and then to me.
Yeah. And sometimes people say to us, oh, you've had it sprayed, or you've had, you know.
We haven't.
But there's a slight difference in colour, but that's only with polish. You see, so you've gone a little off the tartan red. It is a red, but there's just the shading's slightly different, but it's only just sheer hard work.
Oh, it's made a great deal.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I'm nearly 71. My wife is nearly 70. We're the oldest members in the club. We're mixing with young people, but they don't treat us as senior citizens.
And of course, Min sometimes has been very, very naughty. You know, halfway to Brighton, she's really decided she doesn't want to go, and then you've got about half a dozen of them all round you. You know, they've got the boot up, the bonnet up, the boot open, all the tools are out. And they get you going again.
Oh, yes,
even the very young ones, they took to us straight away.
So there's
You know.
great camaraderie.
Oh, absolutely,
yes.
absolutely,
Yes, we've had great fun with them.
Still say the Mini's a great car.
Yeah.
I mean, I've driven
Best
many
of
other
all.
cars in my working life,
Yeah.
but the Mini's still a great fun car to me.
Yes.
And even my Mini, at its age, still gives 40 miles to a gallon.
I bought this Mini in 1989. It was a lady owned it before me, but unfortunately through her ill health she lost her license. So it was actually 3 months old when I purchased it, and I've had it since then. I've done quite a lot of work to it. We've changed the engine in it, the wheels. We've put Somerford Mini spats on there, and they've done quite a bit of work on the car over the last year. But apart from that, it's standard. The registration number is my own personal plate. I bought that back about 3 years ago. Quite funny really, because the A is for Azalea Close where I live, and 19 is the number of the house, and then my initials. This is my little fun car. And I like Minis, I've always loved Minis, and it's never going to die, is it, the Mini, really? It's going to continue. This is the third time I've done the run. Unfortunately, I've got a first this year and a first last year and a second the year before. So I was very pleased, very surprised this year. I didn't think you could win it twice in one on the run. But no, the run was a very good run today. And it's full credit to the club, and you know, it brings thousands of people. I think the Mini brings a lot of people together, more so than any other car, I believe. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve. I belong to London and Surrey Mini Owners Club. I've come down from Colchester today. Done this run quite a few times. Been about the best one I've been on so far. Loads of minis here. First time it's been really nice and sunny. Everyone's friendly as usual. No incidents have happened. We had one accident that we saw en route. Nobody was really hurt though. Apart from that, it's been a really good day. No problems with any of the stands. Everyone's really pleased with the cars. Some really good results on the competitions. Myself, I come down in a Trek. I didn't expect to win anything, even if it is the only one that ever turns up at the shows.
I think it's wonderful. Thank goodness what a lovely day it's been to make it. And to think they've had over 1,000 motor cars from Crystal Palace here, I think it's wonderful. And it's basically, you know, it's people like the London and Surrey Mini Owners Club and people that went on the run today that have kept the Mini going so long. That's what it's all about, really.